Good day, grade 11s. My name is Patience Ngobeni, and I will be taking you through today's exciting revision lesson on business roles. Now, you must see from my concept map that in the previous lesson, we have already covered creative thinking and problem solving, as well as stress, crisis, and change management. The focus on today's revision lesson will be on ethics and professionalism, as well as team dynamics and conflict management. Now, let's start with our ethics and professionalism. Remember that when we speak about ethics and professionalism, we are touching on two different but also common factors. The first thing that you need to know is what is professionalism and what is ethics. Then, what is the differences between the two? Also, you must know the principles of both. You must then remember that we have the theories of ethics that guide ethical behavior. Lastly, you must remember that you must be able to know how businesses can conduct their operations in a professional, responsible, and ethical manner. Now, the new terms and definitions that you will come across in this lesson include your word ethics, which is defined to be the moral principle that governs a person's behavior. Now, we will elaborate this further. We also have professionalism, which is a set of standard of expected behavior. Now, the key there is that you are expected to behave in that manner. Ethical behavior also looks at acting in a way that is consistent with what society and business thinks are good values. We also have a code of conduct, which is a set of rules and responsibilities of a business that employees need to comply with. We then have integrity, which is to perform all your work-related duties in the correct manner, even if you are not seen. Now, very important to remember, grade 11s, is that you might struggle when you are writing your exams to differentiate between professionalism and ethics. Now, it is very important to note that when we are dealing with professionalism, we are looking at the way that you are expected to behave in a particular business. And you must remember that this differs from business to business. Whereas when we are looking at ethics, we are referring to how you are expected to behave according to society. So this is what society deems to be right and wrong, whereas professional behavior is what businesses deem to be right and wrong. Now, another problem that you can come across is that you might remember to name the theories, but you will struggle to discuss them. Now, the key to this is to understand what each theory is about. Now, we will elaborate this further when we look at the different theories. You might also be able struggle to explain how businesses can act in a professional, responsible, and ethical way. Now, the tip to remember this is that you must know what professional behavior is and what ethical behavior is, which will then help you to answer this question as to how businesses must conduct their operations in a professional, ethical, and responsible manner. Now, let's look at professional behavior. So, like we indicated, it is expected behavior that you must follow. So we apply a code of conduct in a particular business that employees must work with. Now, for instance, if in my code of conduct of the business that I operate in states that I need to come to work wearing orange and white, then it means that it is expected for me to come to work wearing orange and white. Now, this might differ from another business which will expect me to wear black and yellow, for example. But when we speak about ethical behavior, now we are looking at what is right and wrong according to who? The society. So this is what is acceptable in a society. and it applies to all of us that are living in that society. As you can see now in this table format, that professionalism is focusing on the business's reputation, whereas ethics conforms to what is morally acceptable according to society. Now we have the principles of professionalism and ethics, which simply means that when you are being professional and ethical, you must have what we call competence. Now this simply means that you must be able to do your job effectively and efficiently, or in simple terms, you must be good at your job. Now let's also take a look at this factor, which is called transparency, which means that when you are ethical and professional in your business, you must be able to be transparent, which means that you must be honest and open about the business deals. Also, you must have a commitment to your work, meaning that as an employee or even an employer, you must show commitment to the work that you are doing for the sake of the business profitability and image. Then let's quickly look at the theories of ethics. Now, these theories guide ethical behavior. Firstly, remember I told you that for you to be able to explain these theories, you must know what they mean. Now let's look at the theory which is called consequential theory. Now break this down into a smaller word. When we look at this word, you can remember that, oh, this talks about a consequence. So now it means a consequence is a result of the behavior that you do. Now this will help you to remember to say that, oh, the consequential theory is the one that looks at the good and the bad of a decision that I make. For instance, if I decide to litter, I must look at the consequences of littering. If the consequence is good, then it means that according to this theory, I must do it. But if it's bad, then it means that I should not do it. So that's why they are saying that it is a theory that suggests that an action is either good or bad depending on its outcome. Now, we also have what we call the common good approach. Now, you are able to name this. That is very good. Then you must then remember, common good means what? So it says there that the theory ensures that the business values and ethical principles are in line with society. So which means that you are operating for the common good of the society. So whatever it is that you do will not have an impact on the society around you. We also have now the rights approach. Now to remember this, you must simply remember your individual human rights according to the Constitution. The rights theory says that we are looking at individual rights where people are treated with respect and dignity. So the rights approach focuses on ensuring that businesses do not do things that are violating the rights of their employees or the society in which they are operating in. I hope this makes it more easier to remember. Now, let's take a look at the good and bad decisions that businesses often make. Now, you need also to remember what a good decision is and what a bad decision is. So when you read here, it tells you that good decisions are usually taken after giving a situation a lot of thought and consideration. So you think about it before you do it. Whereas bad decisions are taken at the spur of a moment without critically analyzing the situation. So this can happen, for example, think about a situation where there was a party that was happening at your friend's place, but which was happening late at night. So because you are making a bad decision, you must have remembered that you decided to go there at the spur of a moment without critically analyzing how or what effect that would have. So you came back the following morning and your parents shouted at you. But if it was a good decision, it would have been taken without a regret, and it was going to give you a positive impact. But now, since it's a bad decision, it will not have all the correct information for you to take into account. So you will not think about the repercussion or the consequences of your decision. Now, it is why it explains that these decisions could later be regretted. So you might regret the fact that your parents shouted at you because you went to a party. Now let's look at what is it now that businesses can do to conduct their operations in a professional, responsible, and ethical manner. Then I will remind you again that for you to know how to answer this question, you must know the meaning of these facts stated above here. So for them to be professional and ethical, they must treat all their employees equally, regardless of race, gender, and age. Now, also very important, they must pay their employees fair wages that comply with the BCEA. Now, remember that the BCEA simply means the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. They must also be paid for working overtime and on public holidays. This is because it is the time where they are supposed to be resting. So you must then compensate them for working during those times. It is also very important to note that when you are being professional, responsible, and ethical, all the goods produced should be produced according to the required standards, which means that whatever products that you are selling to your customers must be of the right quality and of the standard that will not harm or pose harm to the society. Now, grade 11s, I must emphasize that when you are answering the question, it is important for you not to separate these words into subheadings and write explanations underneath, because this looks at one segment and you must answer it as it appears. So what is important is that you must remember what professional, responsible, and ethical is so that you are able to answer this question. I know that this is a lot to take in, so I am going to give you a few minutes to drink some water, and I will see you soon.